Hello and welcome to Nick's Maths. Week 3, Term 3, Lesson 9. And we're moving on to multiplication and division. And today we're going to do multiplication and division using arrays and grids. So we're trying to get the children to move from additive thinking, when they just add numbers together to get a product, to multiplicative thinking, which is underpinned by their understanding of their times tables. Now this is a gateway to understanding. Multiplication and division helps you with other things like fractions and decimals and percentages and ratios and proportions and algebra and other higher mathematics. So today we're looking at multiplication and its correlating division. So our learning intention, we are learning to recognize the interrelated relationship of multiplication and division. And you'll know that you can do that when you can represent a multiplication problem as a division problem, when you can represent a division problem as a multiplication problem, when you can represent basic division and multiplication facts as an array or in a grid, when you can explore patterns with multiples. So difficulties that students might come across. Students may continue to use additive strategies when dealing with multiplicative equations, which will take a long time and a lot of paper. A student might read a problem from top to bottom, resulting in difficulties when dealing with larger numbers. And a student's grasp of their times tables might not be enough to help them out in a problem that involves more than 1 or 2 digit numbers. So you'll need a pencil, a rubber, a ruler. You'll need the grid paper inside your maths books so you can make your rectangles, or I'm going to call them arrays, which we're going to use to help us consolidate our times tables or our multiplicative thinking. The language that you will be using today. Array, an arrangement of objects or numbers in columns or rows. Multiplicative, connects multiplication and division and is the next step up from additive thinking. Multiplication, the process or skill of multiplying. Division, splitting a quantity into smaller groups. And inverse, the opposite or the reverse of something. It's really important to acknowledge that multiplication is the inverse operation to division, and division is the inverse or opposite operation to multiplication. Just as addition is the inverse operation of subtraction, and subtraction is the inverse or opposite operation of addition. So, what are we going to do? Well, watch the video attached. And we're going to develop our multiplicative thinking through arrays on a grid. So I want you to get your maths books, and I want you to get your grid paper, and I want you to create the following arrays. One number in your multiplication sum will be the horizontal line of the rectangle that you're going to colour in, and the other the vertical. And you're going to fill these in, and the number of squares you fill in will be your answer. I'm going to show you an example now. So, using arrays or multiplicative thinking. Now the first question I've asked is 2 times 3. So I've coloured in on the vertical line 2, I've put the times down here in the corner, and on the horizontal line 3. And I've coloured in the rectangle that it's created, and it's given me the answer 6. Now we want to find the division equivalent of this multiplication sum. So we take the answer, or the product, 6 divided by 2, and we count the horizontal line, 1, 2, 3, equals 3. And we've used all the same numbers we used for our multiplying problem. Let's take question 2. 3 times 2 equals 6. Once again, the product is 6. We divide that by the vertical line, 3, and the answer is the horizontal line, 2. And that's for our division problem. And the last one is a bigger problem, and that is 6 times 4, and we coloured in the squares, that gave us 24, and the product becomes the first number in our division problem, 24 divided by 6, and the answer is our horizontal line, 4. So that's the process that I want you to do. I've done 10 sums on the board here, 2 times 3, 3 times 2, 6 times 4, 5 times 5, 6 times 3, 7 times 1, 2 times 5, 2 times 2, and 3 times 3. And I've given you an example on the learning task, and that's 5 times 4 equals 20. And I want you to try and do those 10 sums and colour them into beautiful arrays or grids, and then do the divisional problem. That's the equivalent of the multiplicative problem. Now, some questions you might want to ask yourself at the end. Do you understand multiplicative thinking? How does it differ from additive thinking? How does the inverse nature of multiplication and division work? Can you explain it? What did you learn as a mathematician? How do you know your understanding is correct? Explain. What were some of the difficulties that you faced? Now, once you've done that and you've put it into your book, you've done your 10 questions, you can take a photograph and upload it to Compass, or you can send it as a JPEG or a Word document to my email. And if you have any questions, you can contact me directly or ask me in our daily maths classes at 10:15. Stay safe, take care. All the best.